real-time ride-sharing, also known as instant ride-sharing, dynamic ride-sharing, ad hoc ride-sharing, on-demand ride-sharing, and dynamic carpooling, is a service that arranges one-time shared rides on very short notice. This type of carpooling generally makes use of three recent technological advances: GPS navigation devices to determine a driver's route and arrange the shared ride, smartphones for a traveler to request a ride from wherever they happen to be, social networks to establish trust and accountability between drivers and passengers. These elements are coordinated through a network service, which can instantaneously handle the driver payments and match rides using an optimization algorithm. Like carpooling, real-time ride-sharing is promoted as a way to better utilize the empty seats in most passenger cars, thus lowering fuel usage and transport costs. It can serve areas not covered by a public transit system and act as a transit feeder service. Ride-sharing is also capable of serving one-time trips, not only recurrent commute trips or scheduled trips. In the early 2010s, several transportation network companies were introduced that were advertised as ride-sharing, but in fact dispatched commercial operators similar to a taxi service. The first such service to appear on the market was the San Francisco-based company Sidecar, launched in 2011. Transportation experts have called these services "ridersourcing" to clarify that drivers do not share a destination with their passengers. The app simply outsources rides to commercial drivers. Ride-sharing has been controversial, variously criticized as lacking adequate regulation, insurance, licensure, and training. One of the main so-called ride-sharing, but actually ridersourcing, firms, Uber, has been banned in major cities such as Frankfurt, Barcelona, Vancouver, Buffalo and a number of other cities around the world. Opposition may also come from taxi companies and public transit operators, because they are seen as alternatives. Potential market. A 2010 survey at the University of California, Berkeley found 20% of respondents willing to use real-time ride-sharing at least once a week, and real-time ride-sharing was more popular among current drive-alone commuters, 30%, than transit and non-motorized commuters. The top obstacles to using real-time ride-sharing were short trip lengths and the added time of ride logistics. Implementation. Early real-time ride-sharing projects began in the 1990s, but they faced obstacles such as the need to develop a user network and a convenient means of communication. Gradually the means of arranging the ride shifted from telephone to internet, email, and smartphone, and user networks were developed around major employers and universities. As of 2006, the goal of taxi-like responsiveness still generally eluded the industry. Next-day responsiveness was considered the state-of-the-art. More recently, taxi-sharing systems that accept taxi passengers' real-time ride requests via smartphones have been proposed and studied. A number of technology companies based in San Francisco premiered apps for real-time ride-sharing around 2012. However, in the fall of 2012, the California Public Utilities Commission issued a cease-and-desist letter to rideshare companies Lyft, Uber, Wings, and Sidecar, and fined each $20,000. In 2013, an agreement was reached reversing those actions, creating a new category of service called transportation network companies, to cover both real-time and scheduled ride-sharing companies. Transportation network companies have faced regulatory opposition in many other cities, including Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, and Washington, D.C. Two dynamic ride-sharing pilots in Norway received government funds from Transnova in 2011. One pilot in Bergen had 31 passengers in private cars during one day. 39 users acted as drivers or passengers between June 30 and September 15, with 4 ride-sharing episodes or more. The phone apps that was used was Avago Driver and Henitmeg. No Cell Client, a prototype developed for the NPRA of Norway. The other pilot is run by the company Sharepool. Some more advanced real-time ride-sharing features have been proposed but not implemented. For example, longer trips might be facilitated using multi-hop matches in which passengers change cars to reach their final destination. See also carpool, car sharing, demand-responsive transport, flexible carpooling, hitchhiking, illegal taxi-cab operation, peer-to-peer car sharing, rideshare advertising, sharing economy, slugging, sustainable transport, vanpool. Notes and references.